In the summer of 2007, the lab results came back positive. The peanut paste produced at a small Georgia processing plant had tested positive for salmonella. Then it tested positive a second time. The owner of the plant read the reports, sat at his desk, and wrote a single sentence in an email to his managers. Just ship it. 18 months later, 9 Americans were dead. More than 700 were sick across 46 states, and the largest food recall in the history of the United States was unfolding in real time. Sinister Business, Bankrupt Empire. The plant sat in Blakely, Georgia, a small farming town in the southwest corner of the state. It had been founded in 1977 by a man named Hugh Parnell, originally to process peanuts grown by his neighbors. For its first 20 years, the Peanut Corporation of America was a quiet, mid-sized food ingredient supplier. Hugh Parnell ran a clean plant. He retired in 2000. His son Stewart took over. Under Stewart Parnell, the company grew quickly. Peanut Corporation became the third largest peanut processor in the country, with plants in Georgia, Texas, and Virginia. Its biggest products were peanut paste and peanut butter sold in bulk to institutional customers, schools, nursing homes, the federal school lunch program, and the in-house brands of nearly every major American grocery chain. PCA peanut paste went into Kellogg's cereal, into Sara Lee snack bars, into the peanut butter served on the lunch lines of public schools in every state, into the meal trays of nursing homes from Maine to California. Roughly 3,000 finished food products, sold by 360 different brands, were made with Peanut Corporation peanuts, the same peanuts coming out of Blakely. The Blakely plant, by the late 2000s, had become quietly unsafe. Federal investigators, when they finally got inside, would document rat droppings inside the processing area, mold on the interior walls, slime in the pipes, a leaking roof that dripped rainwater directly into the open peanut paste vats, and a single bathroom with no hot water shared by every employee in the building. Stewart Parnell knew about all of it. Georgia state plant inspectors had visited the facility year after year and rated it superior. Federal investigators would later discover that some of the state inspectors had never actually walked the production floor. They had signed the rating forms in the front office, accepted a cup of coffee, and driven back to the next stop on their route. In 2007, Peanut Corporation's own internal testing began producing positive salmonella results on the paste leaving Blakely. The proper response, under federal food safety regulations, was to halt all outbound shipments, identify the source of the contamination, sanitize the equipment, and retest until clean. Peanut Corporation did not do this. Instead, Stewart Parnell ordered his managers to find a different laboratory, specifically a laboratory that would test the same paste and return a negative result. The company shipped its samples to a second testing facility, which, by mistake or by design, returned the cleaner numbers the company needed. Peanut Corporation logged the second result, set the first one aside, and shipped the paste out the door. The internal Peanut Corporation emails surfaced years later in federal court are the heart of this story. Stewart Parnell, complaining about a hold on a shipment, wrote to his plant manager that, quote, "The lost cost is going to put us out of business. We need to turn the peanuts on our floor into money." Then, in another email, the line that would put him in federal prison. Just ship it. Late in 2008, the bodies began. In small towns across Minnesota, a child who had eaten a school cafeteria peanut butter sandwich was admitted to the emergency room with severe gastroenteritis. In a Virginia nursing home, 3 residents who had eaten the same brand of peanut snack died within days of each other. By December, the Centers for Disease Control was tracking an unexplained spike in Salmonella Typhimurium cases across 46 states. By the start of January 2009, 714 Americans across 46 states had fallen sick with the same rare strain of salmonella. 9 of them, mostly children and the elderly, were dead. The CDC ran the genetic fingerprints. Every infection traced back to the same source. peanut paste produced at the Blakely, Georgia plant of Peanut Corporation of America. On January 10, 2009, the Food and Drug Administration arrived at the Blakely plant with federal agents. They documented every condition: the rat droppings, the roof leaks, the unwashed pipes, the shared bathroom. They seized the internal records, the lab results, and the company's email server. By the end of the week, the United States had its largest food product recall in history: 3,900 individual products, 360 different brands. On February 13, 2009, Peanut Corporation of America filed for bankruptcy. Stewart Parnell took the fifth in front of a congressional committee, refusing to answer a single question. The committee chair publicly waved a jar of contaminated peanut paste at him across the hearing room. Parnell stared at the table. The cameras flashed. And then he went home to Lynchburg, Virginia, and waited for the United States Department of Justice to decide what to do with him. The Department of Justice took its time. 4 years of grand jury work followed, during which federal prosecutors pulled apart the email server, the lab records, the shipping logs. In February 2013, the indictment came down. 76 federal counts: conspiracy, fraud, obstruction of justice, the knowing introduction of adulterated food into interstate commerce. Stewart Parnell, his brother Michael, and a quality manager named Mary Wilkerson were named. The trial began in August 2014 in Albany, Georgia. It lasted 7 weeks. The prosecution introduced the emails into evidence one by one. The jury read "just ship it" on a courtroom projection screen. They deliberated for less than a day. Stewart Parnell was convicted on 67 of the 76 counts. In September 2015, the federal judge sentenced him to 28 years in prison. It was, and remains, the harshest criminal sentence ever handed down to a corporate food executive in American history. Bankrupt Empire, Sinister Business, The Dark Side of Business. Subscribe.